Indian Small Business and Franchise Association ISFA, I am delighted to welcome you all to this exciting virtual session focused on importance of franchising for rapid growth in business. Whether you are a budding entrepreneur or an established business owner or a simple curious about the franchising ecosystem, we are thrilled to have you join us today. ISFA is the voice of Indian small business and franchise industry. ISFA would continue to work towards the betterment of the industry at all levels. We aim to support the entrepreneurs across the country to emerge as a global entrepreneur. We helping startup firms and MSMEs to grow or ensuring a smooth working of their businesses. ISFA is committed to provide every possible help to every person associated with it. We connect investor to business partners and help small entrepreneurs and startups to unlock their growth potential. ISFA has started a virtual session series with young and successful Indian entrepreneurs for inspiring thousands of other Indians to start their own entrepreneur journey with the franchising business. The franchising business is gaining popularity these days in India. Entrepreneurs choose to own a franchisee rather than start a business from scratch. India, India's vibrant food and beverages industry presents a remarkable opportunity for entrepreneurs with the sector experiencing exponential growth. Owning a food and beverages franchisee in India can be a highly profitable venture. Today's session is a witness to our commitment to support aspiring entrepreneurs like yourselves. Today, we have Mr. Chaitanya Sabarwal, co-founder and CEO, Biryani Queen, as guest speaker who will share his insight, experience, and strategies for navigating the challenges and seizing the opportunity in the franchising landscape in F&B sector. I encourage you to actively engage, ask as many as questions, and take the advantage of this platform and the experience of Mr. Chaitanya. Before we begin, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Franchise India Group, whose support has made this session possible. Their dedication to promoting entrepreneurs deserve recognition. Without taking any more time, I request our speaker to start the session with their brief introduction. Over to you, Mr. Chaitanya.
Thank you so much, Akshat. Thanks for giving us the opportunity. So I would like to, first of all, before I begin with the session, I would like to thank ISFA for giving me the opportunity to be there, to be here on this particular platform. And at the same time, I would like to thank Franchise India as well, Mr. Maria, for getting us associated with ISFA. Why franchising? What is the need of franchising? And if we franchise, then what is that we should be looking at from the franchising perspective from a franchisor? And how franchising is different from the small businesses or the businesses that we do directly? All these questions, answers, I'm going to share with you what my experiences. Before I begin, let me introduce myself. I'm Chaitanya Sabarwal. I'm the co-founder and CEO for Biryani Queen brand, having 30 years of a franchise management experience. There were thousands of franchisees who were under me. Since 1995, I have been very, very active in the field of franchise management. So you can ask any questions related to the franchising. You can ask any solutions related to franchising, and you can also you can even consult with me in terms of what are the challenges and the difficulties you're facing in your current if you're already into franchising. First thing first, why franchising? The benefit of franchising is definitely franchisees. It's more than a restriction than a benefit, or I would say that franchising will get less freedom in terms of of freedom in terms of doing the businesses. Freedom means you can not take anything for a ride when it comes to franchising. Definitely, why franchising? That you get the pre-prepared systems and processes, already set up systems and processes through a franchisor. That is the reason you need to franchise. If you imagine, if you're going to do your own business, you're going to start your own business, you may be an expert in one particular area, but you may not be an expert in all the areas of doing businesses. You may be an expert in marketing, you may be an expert in sales, you may be you may be an expert chef for that matter. But you may be an expert HR guy in terms of while training your team members. But you can't be the master of all the trades if you really need to start your own business. First thing first, who should get into business? Let me just talk about that rather than immediately jumping onto the franchising world or franchise management. First thing first is who should start a business. Business is not an easy task. It's a responsibility. When we say business is a responsibility, means you are the person who is doing a business or who is wanting to start a business need to own, or rather need to be accountable for every doings what is required to run a business. Even if you are hiring team, it is your responsibility because their families, their life is dependent on your business. So first of all, to start a business or a franchising, you need to be very, very sure of that you really can take that responsibility. And how are you going to manage your cash flows? How are you going to manage your funds? It's very, very critical and important to start a new business. It is not important that how much money you have. Let's say you can invest 20 lakhs or you can invest 10 lakhs, you can invest 1 crore, you can invest 5 crores. But how are you going to utilize that particular money in terms of growing your business is very, very important. In which your team members should not suffer, your vision should not suffer. So for that, I would like to start with the person who is into a job should never think of starting a parallel business, a serious business, even if it is franchising. People think that taking a franchisee is going to be very, very easier to manage. If I'm in a job, the franchisee will run it automatically. No, that's not the case. It is equally the same business as what you're doing if you have to start your own business. The efforts going to go in both the businesses are going to be the same. You will be responsible at the end of the month. You will be responsible at the end of the week. You will be responsible at the end of the day and accountable as well. Having said that, so the person who is in job should not look forward to starting his own business unless the person is taking a permanent retirement from the job. So you need to be either in the business or already in a business or planning to do a business, but then you have to compromise your job. Sacrifice your job, not compromise. Sacrifice your job. So this is a very, very critical step and very, very important decision which you would be taking when you come to take a responsibility of an organization. By definition, we all know a company is an artificial person associated by law, but we need to really mean that. You are actually going to run a company whose entire responsibility is going to come on your shoulders. No matter what may come, your company should not suffer. It should not go for a toss. Your company should always progress, not to progress. How it's going to progress is something which we're going to discuss now. So first thing first is the person who is not in job, that is most preferable, and that will be the person who will be able to devote because business would be requiring your 24/7 time, which with job is not possible. So why franchising? Let me begin with that. One, you will have set systems and processes. So you need not have to worry about in any of the areas, whether in terms of marketing, from where I'm going to get creatives, from where, who's going to design the creatives for me, who is going to run the schemes for me. All that is done by the franchisor. All that is provided by the franchisor. If it is not necessarily need to be executed by the franchisor, because everything costs money. So one thing you should understand, even if you're taking a franchisee, every single penny of your business is paid by the customer. Whether franchisee charges you royalty, franchisor charges you a royalty, franchisor charges you for marketing, franchisor charges you for trading materials, or you paying rentals, you paying salaries, or you as a franchisee procuring the supply chain material, procurement materials related to trade materials for running a business. And for every single thing, the ultimate source of income is only through one channel, that is the customer. So we need to be very, very clear that when we get into any of the businesses, obviously, customer is who is paying for your salaries, or he is who is paying for your business. So getting set processes and systems, having complete marketing collaterals, designs, handhold support with respect to hiring, training, and providing backup of teams, running festivals or schemes from time to time, part of marketing, of course, taking down your analytics with respect to your costs analysis, your the processes related to your maintaining hygienes, quality controls. So running any small business is equally requires the entire amount of support and the systems and processes what is required to run a large organization as well. So it is no different than the two, in between the two. Then the advantage of why we should franchise is we are very, very from the beginning itself, you get your ROI, which you need to leverage and maintain. ROI is return of investment. When you're actually doing you're understanding the return of investment, you get to know that how much is the capital required and where all it is required. You need not to worry about that. Second, how much is the manpower would be required for to run that business, and what would be their salaries. Third important thing, and the most important, I would say, that what is the volume you're going to generate, the number of orders you're going to take, number of products you're going to sell, number of the varieties of products you're going to sell, and the ticket size at an average cost which you will take from your customers. With that will tell you that how much total business you will be doing in a year or a month or a week wise. And finally, putting all this together, you want to derive your total income versus your expenditure, and you'll be able to achieve your EBITDA. Means your total profit before depreciation. So this is the whole maths which is required why franchising. Next thing which we're going to cover today is what is required for the franchising. What is the checklist for franchising? For franchising, one, you need to be very, very clear about that how much investment you're planning to make. Now that investment requires, there are two kinds of investment. One is your capital expenditure, which we call capex, that would be required to set up your infrastructure, and at least 30 to 40% you should keep for your working capital. 30 to 40% of your capital investment you should always keep aside for your working capital, because for every business there is a gestation period of 2 to 6 months. No matter how much the franchisor would show you that your ROI will come in, let's say 10 months or 6 months or 2 months, whatever. Now, this is your destiny. This is the amount of efforts and the location which you have chosen to do your business. So you may be successful in first month itself, you may be successful in the third month in a row. But then if you're going to be successful in third month, means you're going to touch the break even in third month, you would be requiring at least the first 2 months or 3 months working capital. So never start your business without planning for a working capital. Because working capital would include your rentals, your salaries, and the initial material. So this is the basic requirement before you start planning for a franchising. And then as per the franchising requirements, you should, whatever the location you choose, the next comes with the location, the right location. What would be the right location to take a franchise? The right location will be either a high street, because over here we are specifically discussing about food and beverage industry. So your location has to be a high street. If not high street, it should be a proper good running mall, a food court of a good running mall, or maybe a restaurant of a good running mall, space of a good running mall. So keeping all these two things in mind, either you need to be on a high street or you need to be, so that you get enough captive audience with respect to that location. When you have enough captive audience, then you only have to play a role in terms of putting your efforts and your mind onto generating more business through other sources. I'm going to talk about other sources in a later part, that what are the other sources of revenue you can generate from sources where you can generate revenue in F&B. But to begin your business with franchising, you should always select either a high street or a good running mall, food court or a restaurant space for a good running mall, so that at least 70% you're secured. Balance 30% is something which we need to then that will be a bonus part which we would be doing it through other sources of revenue generation. Next part which I would like to cover is the models in franchising. Now, over here, people sometimes tend to confuse that what exactly these models known for. So I would like to read these models for you. First one is the COCO model, which is company owned, company operated. Second one is the FOCO model, franchisee owned and company operated. I want everyone should be very, very well versed with these terms, franchisee and franchise. These are two different terms. Franchise is about franchising, and franchisee, we are talking about a person, the person who takes the franchise. Then the franchisor is the person who gives the franchise. So when we say franchisee owned, company operated, means the ownership is lying with the franchisee, but company is going to operate. So company is only going to be a management to run the operations of that particular unit or a franchisee, a store, I would say. Third model is franchisee invested, not franchisor invested, franchisee invested and company operated. Now this is a FICO model. The fourth model is franchisee owned and franchisee operated. Means the ownership is also with the franchisee and operations are also going to be run through a franchisee with the support of the franchisor, the brand. And these four models are very, very popular in the franchising business. When company do COCO model, company owned, company operated, when they do not want to franchise and wanting to use either their own investments or the funding which they've secured to run a business across territories. Second model we talked about. So now I'm going to talk about the difference between a franchisee owned, company operated, means FOCO model, and a FICO model. What is the difference between? There is a very thin line between FICO and a FOCO. Franchisee invested and company operated means franchisee is just the investor. The ownership is going to be with the franchisor. So franchisee is only entering into the business, into the franchising business as an investor just for that specific unit, and will pass on the funds, including capital investment and working capital, and then transfer the entire amount to the franchisor, and then franchisor is going to just name that particular unit which is going to be prepared, or the infrastructure and the entire is being done by using the money of the franchisee investor. So there in FICO model, people get a minimum guarantee. The investor gets a minimum guarantee, no matter whether you're in a loss or you're in a profit, because the franchisee is only an investor in this particular model. The second model which we wanted to talk about, which was a little confusing with the FICO model, is the FOCO model, which is franchisee owned and company operated. In franchisee owned company operated model, the ownership lies with the franchisee, means the P&L responsibility, profit and loss responsibility is with the franchisee. Still, the company and the franchisee will take money out of business every month on a percentage basis. But ultimately, if by the end of the month or by the end of the quarter, if there is a loss in the P&L, then the further capital pumping investment is going to be done by the franchisee in this particular model, because the P&L responsibility is of the franchisee. Sometimes it happens that the restaurants do take time to come up at a level, at a break-even level. So till then, the P&L responsibility is going to be with the franchisee alone in the FOCO model. The last one is the franchisee owned, franchisee operated, and the maximum margins when a franchisee can enjoy is through a FOFO model, which is a franchisee owned and franchisee operated. Because in this franchisee owned, franchisee operated, the brands, they just take the royalty and the portion of a marketing fees. That's it. Everything, the entire margin is going to be left with the franchisee. That is the reason the most popular model across the world is the franchisee owned, franchisee operated, in which you can always also must have heard about master franchisee. So master franchisee model is also a part of the franchisee owned, franchisee operated model. Coming to the next part, scope of F&B through franchising. I would like to cover this part as the scope. What is the scope of F&B which is available through franchising? See, there are plenty of scope which is available in franchising, specifically in F&B. In fact, the franchisee business or franchising business have started through F&B sector only. Way back, we talk about in 19, I would say 46, 48, 47. The franchising business or the distributing business, I would say, has been started by John Walker and Sons, for which you today you drink black labels and the red labels of the world, or the blue labels of the world, or gold labels or the green labels of the world. So that liquor company has started the first franchising business or the distribution business. Benefit. So in the scope of franchising, let's understand what all is there for you. One, you get the set systems and processes through franchising. Second, you have a reduced risk in while deciding of franchising, because the brand is already established. The brand already had the systems and processes to run through. Brand is always there to support you in terms of manpower, in staffing. Brand will always be there. You'll be able to scale up easily because your focus as a franchisee is going to be very, very limited to just doing sales and managing the supply chain. Because whether it is a franchise business or it is a small business or it is a large business, every business has the same processes and same methods to take care for which you have to really define the right guidelines in order to run the business smoothly. So through franchising, you get all that at just by deciding that you really want to go over the franchising, and you can tie up with the brand. So economies of scale, which is available in franchising. So marketing is another scope which is available through the franchising. That's something which the brands in F&B and no matter even whether in F&B or outside also, you get the all marketing collaterals through brand free of cost. So entire marketing collaterals are available through franchising, which is definitely going to be there. So number one, I will again reiterate on the scope of franchising is number one, that you get set systems and processes in place. You get the manpower support, you get the marketing support, and you get the supply chain management processes. You get the support in terms of training. All this comes as a part of the franchising, which if you do it the business yourself, you will sometimes feel like running like a headless chicken, wherein you won't be able to figure out that in this particular area from where I should take support and who should I consult with. So with franchising, this is the advantage of by taking a franchisee, that you get everything at a platter. Benefit of franchising in F&B sector. Let's understand what are the benefits which are available under the franchising. Number one, brand recognition. The franchising will definitely include brand recognition, which you can benefit from the brand recognition of a larger company. Means you are just one franchisee and would like to do a startup of your own business. You will be able to understand that the brand is already established in the market, and hence you would like to go with that particular brand. You have a reduced risk because you will be able to invest your time more into selling and operations management rather than defining the policies and the processes and the guidelines for your own business, and which will unnecessarily take your time in terms of developing your building your business, and you will have no time to sell the products in your business. You don't need any experience. The benefit of franchising is that you don't need any experience in the area, in the field. You need not have to be necessarily be a F&B expert. You need not necessarily be a chef. You need not necessarily to be a person who is already into a business. Even if you're starting from scratch, you will be able to start up through a franchising business. Training support is always going to be there. You will have a better chance of financing. Now, benefit of taking franchisee in F&B sector, I don't know whether you have seen a sector something like where the purchases are done on credit and the sale is done in cash. This is F&B is the only sector and only business wherein the purchases are on credit and the sale is in a hard cash. Hard cash means real-time transactions. So your money comes first and then you spend. This is the benefit of an F&B sector business. Next benefit in the field of F&B sector or franchising, I would say, managing your teams is very easier because the team hiring and the training responsibility is on the franchisor. Is on the franchisor. So franchisor hires your team members, trains your team members, the hardcore team, the technical team, and then also provide you backup. Like for example, if let's say the team runs away overnight, the show should not stop. That's the policy which the franchisor follows. And immediately within no time, the person from the franchisor comes and take charge of the store till the time the new team is getting trained. Benefit of franchising, again, I would say you are very, very clear from the beginning itself that how much business you're going to do and how much profit you're going to derive out of that particular business, the total number of volume which you're going to do from franchising, which is not available in by doing business by yourself. Means your ROI, you will be able to make it up very, very clearly from the beginning itself, that if I'm going to do a 10 lakh rupees business or a 20 lakh rupees business, how much profit I'm going to churn, you'll be knowing, and how many orders are required to be done in that, you will be able to understand that. The success of the business or franchising is defined based on, not based on that how great or how good quality food you're serving alone. Yes, that is important and that is required. But the success is defined based upon that what service are you giving to your customers and how many loyal customers you have made today. Because if your loyalty is not growing on a daily basis, believe me, you will be investing same amount of money you would in marketing to get new customers what you were investing at the time of the start of the business. The graph should work in such a fashion that your loyalty should keep improving and your marketing spend should keep reducing. But it should be automatic. It should not be that you suddenly someday you stop doing marketing. No, your business will drop. If you are able to define the graph of loyalty, that how many customers per day or per month you are adding up, and if you're satisfied with adding those customers to your kitty, and I'm pretty sure that you'll be easily be able to understand that here's the time that in which areas and which particular marketing domain you need to reduce your costs. Because ultimately F&B business is totally dependent on the loyal customers. The customer loyalty definitely is very, very important, and that is the reason you get a specific territory, you get a specific area wherein the people are living, and believe me, they don't change year-on-year basis. From here, Akshat, can I take them now through the Biryani Queen presentation?
Sir, first of all, we can take 2-3 questions.
We'll do that.
And thank you very much for your detailed address. And I am sure our audience will definitely benefited by this. And you are covering most of the crucial part of the F&B sector franchisee and the model of the franchising for our audience. And it is well explained by you. Thank you very much for your expertise, sir. And from your address, I take up 2-3 points. First, I'll ask from my view that is pricing is matter in the F&B sector in menu. When you are choosing the pricing in your menu, is affect on attracting the customer or not?
So first, okay, I would like to answer this through the Biryani Queen itself, since I'm heading that brand. There are two kinds of biryanis which are floating in the market right now. One is, we call it a jeera rice biryani, or just a green chilies and in a jeera rice, which is very, very popular by the name of Muradabadi biryani, or some people, or any biryani which is available at every corner of the city. Right now, that is not the biryani which you can actually call it a biryani in terms of presenting it to your guests. So the other kind of biryani which is going on in the market is the party biryani. Party biryani means that biryani will be the real rich biryani, which will have all the baristas and the ingredients of the world which are required, which actually enriches biryani to a great extent.
Sure. Biryani is, of course, is the aroma first customer feel, then only he can take the.
So you're also talking about the party biryani only. So when it comes to the party cuisine, then definitely what price doesn't matter. And customer is also nowadays the kind of the customers when we're talking about the franchising business. See, you're not going to take a franchising business to serve that low quality food or low quality store, right? You're not going to go through that level. You ultimately wanting to serve to the best of the worlds. So for that matter, first of all, like when it comes to, so it matters on the what is the audience you're serving. When you're serving it to the, when you're serving a main cuisine, then student is not your customer. Specifically, college student is not your customer who is dependent on the aid. कि पापा पैसे भेजेंगे तो ही मैं ये खाऊंगा, नहीं तो मेरे पास अभी स्कोप नहीं है. People living in hostels for who are studying, they are not the customers for main cuisine. They are the customers for the, I would say, junk food, or maybe for something which is rolls or momos maximum at max. Their spending power is very, very less. So having said that,
Yes.
when
And
it comes to the main course cuisine or the meal cuisine, I don't see anybody who has any resistance in terms of that at what price it is available. Today, I've seen the people taking a Domino's pizza for $1,200.
yes, of course. Now the spending era is change of the customer.
Yes.
And
People are no more satisfied just by having kachoris.
yes, they know they're also looking for the ambience. They're also looking for the hygiene of the food, and everything is matter in the F&B sector.
Sir, the most important thing in the F&B sector is how are you presenting your food and the service.
Yes.
खाना कोई भी, मैं हिंदी में बोलूंगा ये वाली बात, आई एम श्योर पीपल विल अंडरस्टैंड. खाना कोई भी बुरा नहीं बेचता. अगर वो खाने के बिजनेस में है तो उसको खाना बनाना आता है. कई बारी ऐसा भी देखा जाता है कि हाई एंड रेस्टोरेंट से ज्यादा सेल बाहर जो रेडी वाला खड़ा है उसकी होती है. इसका क्या मतलब है कि वो हाइजीन मेंटेन कर रहा है? नहीं, लेकिन इसलिए वो खाना खाना है लोगों को. वन, प्राइस फैक्टर. सेकंड, इट इज दैट इजी फूड. टाइम नहीं है लोगों के पास. 30-30 मिनट, 40-40 मिनट रेस्टोरेंट लगाते हैं खाना सर्व करने के लिए. उनके पास इतना टाइम नहीं है, उनको 10 मिनट में निकलना है. एंड थर्ड is the service, the loyalty which they create for themselves. We have seen the vada pav girl, no? क्या वड़ा पाव उससे पहले कहीं नहीं मिलता था?
Yes.
Almost every area in Delhi has a vada pav shop.
Yes.
But how come she became that popular? Because of the attitude, behavior, and the customer centricity. What she maintained was phenomenal. So प्राइस इज नॉट द इशू. वड़ा पाव 20 रुपए का प्रोडक्ट है, वो 50 रुपए में बेचती थी, बिकता था, और उसका सबसे ज्यादा बिकता था. क्यों? क्योंकि अपने उसका जो सर्विस करने का तरीका था, जो कस्टमर अटेंड करने का तरीका था, और जिस तरीके से वो बनाती थी, वो हर चीज शोकेस करती थी, वो और हाइजीनिक भी था. एंड दैट इज द रीजन शी बिकेम सो पॉपुलर.
Yes, sir. And experiences definitely matter in the food F&B sector. Then only your loyal customer will, you can build the chain of the loyal customer.
So you have to understand that when in whatever business you are, how are you attending your customer? How are you making them loyal towards you? Like for example, अगर मैं बिरयानी बेचता हूं तो मैं बिरयानी के अगर मैं केले के पत्ते पे खिलाऊंगा तो कस्टमर बार बार लौट के आएगा, क्योंकि बिरयानी हाथ से खाने का प्रोडक्ट है.
Yes.
स्पून से, फोक से खाने का प्रोडक्ट नहीं है. इट्स नॉट चाइनीज फ्राइड राइस. सो बनाना लीफ के ऊपर अगर मैं सर्व करूंगा तो कस्टमर लौट के आएगा. सो प्रेजेंटेशन एंड योर सर्विस इन योर रेस्टोरेंट matters the most.
Yes. And sir, my next question is on behalf of the brand side. If anyone would like to enter into the franchising segment, that he would like to expand through franchising, so is there any means checklist for the brand side that he should check first that list, then enter into the franchising, or the new brand can also enter into the franchising directly?
No, you're talking about the brand from the brand perspective.
Brand perspective, yes.
See, when franchising is nothing but a business.
Yes.
Right? So first of all, the person should be capable of managing and handling the business. Brand, आज की तारीख में मैं ऐसे लोगों को भी जानता हूं जिन्होंने ब्रांड तो बना लिया लेकिन बिजनेस नहीं कर पाए. फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट इज दैट यू शुड नो हाउ टू डू बिजनेस. सो मैंने अपना पिच स्टार्ट ही ऐसे किया था दैट you will be accountable for each and every doings in your business with respect to whether getting the funds, paying the funds, defining policies, defining processes for each and everything what you're doing. Or business will demand an HR from you. Business will demand a finance guy from you. Business will demand an operations guy from you. Business definitely demands the sales team. Without a sales team, there is no business. It's not an NGO. So we don't need volunteers. We definitely need hardcore employees who can do justice and deliver. So if you can really can extract delivery from your teams, only then you should get into business. Otherwise, it's no business. It's charity.
Yes, sir. Now you can means our audience is waiting for the how the Biryani Queen offer their franchising for to them, and I request you to please start the PPT and give the best model of the franchising of biryani, so that our youth or investors can take the Biryani Queen franchise in his area. And
So, see, thanks, Akshit, for this. I will be taking a presentation through this, taking the audience through my presentation. However, lot of questions Q&A with whatever we have discussed so far in terms of franchising, I think those will be answered through my presentation automatically. So with this, may I have your permission to share my screen?
yes, sir. Please share.
Just a moment. Is everybody able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Your
I'm just loading the
presentation.
presentation. Okay. Hi everyone. Once again, good afternoon. This is Chaitanya from co-founder and CEO from Biryani Queen, and I'm here presenting you the Biryani Queen pitch deck with respect to the franchising business. Biryani Queen is the only premium biryani brand in the country in India who can franchise. There are not many biryani players which are available in India who can actually franchise. And we are open for franchising across the world. We are inviting franchisees all across India. And Biryani Queen is the biryani brand which does 40 kinds of biryanis, out of which 12 are vegetarian and 28 non-vegetarian biryanis. We do all styles of biryanis, naming Avdi biryani, Kolkata biryani, Hyderabadi biryani, Kerala biryani, Sindhi biryani, Pakistani biryani, or Mughlai biryani and international biryanis. We have concepts in biryanis. The only brand which runs through a concept in biryani. We do dum biryanis, we do dyed biryanis, we do sattvic biryanis without onion garlic. We do kids biryanis, and not just biryanis, we do biryani wazwans, biryani sizzler, which you guys have never heard of. We do kebabs, we do curries, breads, beverage, and dessert. So we have a whole lot of cuisine, including Mexican rolls. We have a whole lot of cuisine in Biryani Queen. So any family member who really wants to come and have food at our store will not go empty-handed, because we are not just a biryani player, but we also do kebabs, curries, and rolls. So everything is available under a single banner. Our current presence in the malls in India, the topmost is the feather in the hat is Phoenix Mall of Asia, Bangalore, ZSquare Mall, Kanpur, DB City Mall, Gwalior, DB City Mall, Bhopal, Paras Mall, Agra. It's Paras Pearls Mall. Pune, we are coming in 93 Avenue Mall. Aurangabad is Prozone Mall, we are coming there, and Indore, Phoenix Citadel Mall. These are our store aesthetics, the way it looks, and how they present themselves, the way they display their food. So these are the glimpses of our food court stores. Total investment required for Biryani Queen business is about starting from 20 lakh rupees to 90 lakh rupees. Area required for biryani franchising is from 250 square feet to 2000 plus square feet, depending upon the level of investment you want to make. The investment returns are about 20 to 30%. Now, people think that the F&B sector has an investment returns of about, say, 100 or 200%. This is what I've heard of. No, F&B business is no different than any other business, wherein F&B business requires more amount of efforts than any, I would say, distribution business or appliances business or any other kind of business other than the grocery business. Grocery business certainly requires more efforts and more. FMCG business requires more efforts and more investments and more strict processes than the F&B business. These are the models which we have, which are available under Biryani Queen: restaurant, dine-in and delivery, QSR, dine-in and delivery. So we do both styles. One is the traditional style of restaurants, wherein the people come first, eat first, and then pay the bill. And the QSR format is the same as the KFCs and the McDonald's, which is and our Subways, wherein the people, they come to the counter, they order their food, they pay the bill, and then they collect their food. So we have both the formats available under Biryani Queen. So QSR dine-in and delivery, 70 lakh rupees for 1200 square feet, and QSR food court, 40 lakh rupees for about 300 square feet. Now, these are the approximate figures. It could be less, it could be more, depending upon the mall you choose. Total franchisee fees from 12 lakh to 8 lakh rupees, that is included in the total investment which we are showcasing over here. 20 to 30% is going to be your return. One thing you need to be very, very sure of in F&B sector is you need to be within the 30% food cost. No matter what may come, you're not going to cross this parameter of 30% food cost. The moment you cross your food cost from 30% to 32%, you will eat 6% of your own profit. So it is not advisable to cross this particular benchmark of 30% or a borderline of 30% in terms of your food cost. So if there are two ways to manage this. One, either you increase or set your price right, or you set your portion right. So when you're doing the pricing, you need to be very, very clear of that what portion and what price you're going to give, which will be easily sellable, maintaining 30% food cost. That's the responsibility of the franchisee and as under the guidelines of franchisor. So here is the opportunity which I'm wanting you to take. India's fastest growing biryani QSR chain and the only premium biryani brand. Biryani is everyone knows, the Swiggy Zomato data says that biryani has taken over pizza. So the world's number one cuisine today is biryanis. So the most in demand, and it's a high ticket value item. Imagine anybody, say, anybody at home, maybe your wife, your daughter, your mother, your sister could be saying that, "Aaj ghar mein biryani banayi hai." I'm guaranteeing you that you will not skip that meal on that day. वो कहेंगे दाल बनाई है तो आप कहोगे नहीं मैं बाहर खाना खाऊंगा, मैं समझ में आता है. वो कहेंगे कि हमने आज रोटी बनाई है तो आप कहेंगे कि नहीं मैं आज खाना बाहर खाऊंगा. बट अगर कोई ये कहते घर में कि हमने आज बिरयानी बनाई है, आई एम गारंटीइंग दैट द एंटायर हाउस इज गोइंग टू फ्रीक आउट on biryani on that day. So that is the kind of the aura biryani maintains. One, it is a high ticket item, and we have also introduced biryani wazwan. Now, what is biryani wazwan? Wazwan is a Kashmiri dish, which means dastarkhan, means you get a whole sum of platter as your cuisine. So which is available only with Biryani Queen, wherein you get the biryanis and the rice, dum rice, and then also you get the curries and the breads, and also get the loads of kebabs on the bed of rice, which are served as a dastarkhan in front of you. We support at every level. We support in project, in project management, in building your infrastructure. We support in the operations. We are among the very few brands, or I would say the premium brands, who has written down SOPs to run and to start a restaurant, which is not available with any other. So one thing which Akshat was asking, that what we should investors should be looking at while taking a franchise, that ensure that every brand, whosoever the franchisee you will be taking, has written down brand SOPs. There should be an operations manual. Then the next thing you should look at is that what is the recruitment and hiring and the training support is, whether the brand is giving, and is it the regular. You should ask other franchisees that does this brand provides hiring, training, and the backup support in case if the staff runs away. So all that pain Biryani Queen takes on their shoulders. Third, marketing and design. So the entire marketing and collaterals and designs, banners, hoardings, lollipops, or videos for that matter, posters, danglers, signboards, or the LED boards inside the store is provided. The entire all designs are provided by Biryani Queen. It will be like coming time to time. Every week you will get the festival creatives or teasers, and also you will keep getting the schemes from Biryani Queen. Then online platform assistance. So entire aggregator platform is being managed by the Biryani Queen head office. You need not have to worry about that. Swiggy, Zomato, NDC, and even our own website biryaniqueen.in gets managed through the Biryani Queen head office. So just to summarize, Biryani Queen, Biryani Queen, we provide kitchen staff hiring, training, and backup support, menu order management support, festival creatives, food videos and schemes support, complete aggregator support with competition analysis. Competitive commission, I would say. Competitive commission, review management support, and which is also the audit support, and the franchise handholding and training support. These are the glimpse of our biryani. So this is the real pictures of, like, this is a jackfruit biryani, kathal ka biryani, which is our signature dish in vegetarian option. This is a soya chop biryani. This is our paneer tikka roll. This is chicken biryani. These are the accolades, the awards which we have secured so far. Thank you so much, Akshat. Any questions?
No, sir. No question from audience side now. And I am very much sure and must propose to our audience that you should, if you are think about any franchisee business, just first look at the Biryani Queen, because it's a very promising brand and having some USP in his domain, in his bucket, to attract the means customers for you. And I definitely ensure you that it will be a means profitable business for you, definitely. And the
See,
support.
one thing the investor, sorry, Akshat. One thing the investor should look at is always that who they are investing with. Who is the person who is driving? What is the level of experience that person is having who is driving the entire brand? So with me, 30 years of franchise management experience, and hence that is the reason that I decided to go in a bootstrap model, with a bootstrap model, rather than securing funding and then getting into this particular thing. So who you're investing with is very, very critical. So guys, if you're confident about investing with us, Biryani Queen, and on me, I think you're most welcome.
So if anyone of you is looking for the Biryani Queen franchisee, please contact us. We will connect you with the concerned person who will give you all the assistance and explain you about all the criterias, and then you start your own business in your area. Thank you, Chaitanya sir, for giving your expertise and sharing your inside depth knowledge on the F&B sector with our audience. And we will definitely get in touch in future sessions also. And thank you very much, audience.
For sure.
Stay tuned
Thank you
with
so
us.
much, Akshay.
And we will soon update you about our next session.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.